At this point, everyone should have seen, or at least heard about it, the halftime show. Some called it the worst, some called it the best. A few even considered it to be too monoracial, thus racist. Crazy, right? As soon as I saw the performance, I knew it was amazing. The parallels to literature, it's not just a normal performance. It was a drama, a masterpiece. Starting off with Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam, you should recognize his face from a recruiting letter for the US Army during World War I. Or just out of your English books from school. But nowadays, he's less known as an advertiser for the army, but rather somewhere between patriarchy and symbolizing the joke that is the land of the free. Spoiler alert, in this case, it's definitely not patriarchy.
It's your Uncle Sam, and this is the Great American Game.
What gives us away are the dancers and how they're styled. They portray the US flag, especially noticeable when they form the US flag during their choreography. Dear Americans, neither this nor Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam are there to be patriotic. What I love about this performance is that Kendrick didn't just rattle down his well-known songs. He was telling a story, with Uncle Sam as the narrator and the personification of not just America, but also his own struggles and therefore a lyrical alter ego of himself, and Kendrick on the other side. The intro line, "Welcome to the Great American Game," tells us that this is the halftime show of the Super Bowl in the great country of America, right? Well, no. The game is a reference for being black in America. Imagine you're one of, if not the greatest rapper alive, one of the biggest at that too, and you get asked to play for the Super Bowl halftime show, which is televised and watched all over America. Now you're standing in front of a dilemma. Are you gonna perform your songs about the discrimination, racism, and upcoming in terrible surroundings? Or will that be too much for the MAGA merch wearing Trump supporters? White trash, as many like to say. Will it be too much blackness, too much hip hop, too much Kendrick? Throughout Super Bowl history, there were quite a few times where it was too black for the white folks of America. Like that one time where Justin Timberlake ripped Janet Jackson's bra off, from which her career still hasn't recovered yet. Or the Formation performance by Beyonce due to too much alleged anti-police propaganda. Or when Kaepernick, a famous football player, or rather say an ex-football player, had to give up his whole career after going on his knees for the BLM movement out of solidarity instead of singing the national anthem. So what does Kendrick choose? 100 points, you guessed it. He started his show on his knees while performing 2 songs out of his latest album, GNX, which he just casually dropped overnight last year. This album also gained a lot of critical acclaim. They even celebrated the album as a return of real hip-hop. GNX wasn't some SoundCloud rapper shit, mumble rap, or fake street credibility. It was real hip-hop. There are really interesting little details about the album. The car that Kendrick is posing on, the Buick GNX, is the same car he got driven home in after his birth. And yes, Matt City isn't fictional. It's about his upcoming in Compton. This is also said in the performance. He is referencing his blackness, his upcoming, and his heritage. No wonder Uncle Sam interrupted the performance after just 2 tracks with the words,
No, 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 no! Too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up!
These words aren't new for POCs. It's okay if you're black, if you're Mexican, if you're Indian, but please, be one of the good ones. Those that work hard and those that are grateful, but don't be too loud, too reckless, and too ghetto. Then Uncle Sam asks the question, do you really know how to play the game? Asking Kendrick if he really wants to continue with the show, if he really wants to show America's blackness. He should rather be grateful for the opportunities the land of the free brings him, the country that gave him his success. So please, play something more fitting and less ghetto. While the white American is eating their fast food in front of the TV, watching a show with all their money betted on one team, while completely forgetting that they even had a Mexican neighbor, because they've been awkwardly silent since Trump has been in office. A time where they maybe don't want to be reminded that the greatest country of all time has a racism problem. A problem with treating people, humans, equally. This gives Kendrick's song, Humble, a completely new meaning. The bar, be humble, be sit down, felt very different this time.
My left stroke just went viral.
Right stroke, put a baby in the, be humble, sit down, be humble.
The initial topic of the song was about other rappers who just weren't on his level. This is playing onto the loud and ghetto black person again. Of course, black people and immigrants can be a part of the country as long as they're integrated perfectly, heavy on perfectly. Everything a person that is a part of a marginalized group isn't allowed to make a mistake in society because they'll be targeted even more. If a white woman screams in public, oh, she's just fighting with someone. But if it's a black woman screaming in public, it's of course a loud black woman again. Or when a white teenage boy gets in trouble, he's just a boy. But when it's a black boy, it's just so fitting and obvious that he would do something like ghetto like that. While having to do everything perfectly, they'll still be criticized for what a tiny percentage does. A perfect example of this is Germany. Crime reports are a lot more likely to include the offender's immigration status if it's a non-German person. This causes the media, and especially the people in the far right, to believe that immigration is directly tied to crime, therefore wanting them out. But it's also that they should forget their own culture to enjoy that of the perfect German, the white German. Or in the case of black people, Kendrick in particular, that of the perfect American. To go into detail, they should fit into the picture of the illusion of the perfect black guy. Neither gang nor gun violence, an academic career, and proper English. Why do I call it an illusion? Because the white people who set that up won't ever be satisfied, no matter how hard a black person works. There will always be a person, a white person, to call them ghetto, to call them disgusting, or making up reasons to not believe them and their academic career. No matter how perfect a person of a marginalized group is, they'll never fit in 100%. But Kendrick isn't even trying to feed into that. He goes in and takes a lot of people apart while people don't even realize it because they don't understand his lyrical game. And Uncle Sam, once again, isn't a fan of this. He interrupts to call Kendrick's dancers his homeboys and deducts them of one life. A very interesting choice of words. This could be easily about police violence towards black people and how worthless black lives seem to a few. In the middle of the performance, he goes into a dialogue with his dancers, asking them if they want him to perform his biggest song, Not Like Us. But what he wants to do is slow down and perform one of his other biggest songs, All the Stars with SZA, which Uncle Sam of course likes and approves of, because obviously that's what America wants. If you're looking at this from a drama perspective, this is the period where everything seems to calm down and the tension goes down, where the disaster seems avoidable. But truly, this is just the calm before the storm. Uncle Sam's finishing his sentence like all the times before, but now Kendrick starts playing Not Like Us. This is the ultimate climax build up to the almost comically A minor line where the whole stadium sings along. This is such a powerful move because this is the televised sports game, and he just casually made a whole stadium sing along to this track against the most successful rapper of the past few years. If you have a look at hip-hop history, this whole beef between them gets even crazier. Rap battles have been a substantial part of hip-hop, but with it gaining more popularity, white people started seeing it, especially rap battles, as violence, glorifying ghetto and black. Knowing that, it just shows how powerful that performance really was. This is, by the way, the same time we see Serena Williams, one of the greatest tennis players of all times, crip walking. The performance isn't the first time we see her crip walk in widely televised media. The first time was all the way back in 2012 when she did it to celebrate her Olympic tennis win. And you guessed it, she wasn't spoken to because of her amazing feat, but rather what led her to doing such a ghetto thing as that, a gang sign. And if she even regretted doing it, and no she didn't, because it's just a dance after all. And to show the world that she didn't let racism take her down, she did it again during the show. Little fun fact, Serena is actually Drake's ex-girlfriend. Pretty petty if you ask me. Getting closer to the end of the performance, he plays one last track, TV Off of GNX. An interesting interpretation that I definitely support is that he is breaking the fourth wall with the sentence, turn this TV off, to tell them to stop the mass consumption, to stop the laziness, and to realize what is going on in America, because there is no better time than now to tell America that it can't keep going like this, that they shouldn't just accept the escapism and stand up. Immigrants are being sent to camps getting awfully close to concentration camps. Black people have to fear their lives when they get into police control, and the government is looking like it's giving jobs away based on net worth. These are just a few issues of the land of the free. The halftime show could have just been a normal performance, but Kendrick chose something else. Something that a lot of people don't understand. They could interpret the game as just the beef between Kendrick and Drake. But they didn't even do that. Instead, they called it boring, a disgrace, and even racist, while completely missing the point of the show, because they lacked the ability to look past surface level. And with that, hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.